I started. Good evening, everyone. We are going to start formally the today's session, which is the introduction interview to the Data 650 class, which we usually do for the all section. This semester we have two sections, 9040 and 9041. We usually do this all together, and we empower and share more information and knowledge. So today's host for the session will be myself, Elena Gorcheva. I have been with UMUC teaching since 2002, and I'm the program director of the Master of Science in Data Analytics. Many of you, for one reason or for the other, have heard about me. In addition, I have 30-year experience in the field of computer science, computer engineering, and all application areas, starting with databases, networking, and now data science and analytics. With us today is Professor Ozan Afkar. Ozan, can you say a few words about yourself, please?
Yes, Professor, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. This is Ozan Özkan. I have been teaching at UMGC for almost 6 years now. And in total, I have more than 20 years of teaching in classroom and in online setting. Additionally, I have been working in the IT industry for 10 years now, and my current role is I'm working as Agile coach. So I'm teaching at university. I'm also teaching at the industry right now. So welcome to class. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime you want. Thank you so much.
With us today are Elena Betenskaya and Linish Dave. They are our TA. They already, as you know, in the last year, the model of support, technical support and TA help has changed. They are not in the classroom, but they continue supporting our classes the same way they were doing before. Just you don't see them in the class. The good thing is that they hold experience. They are former students of our program. So with no more, I want Elena to say a few words about herself, and then Linish.
So I think most of you have met me, well, at least virtually met me in the past, because I have been with UMGC for at least 12 years. And I'm the one who managed your Cognos Analytics account in Data 610, right? So most of you probably remember me, most of you have not. But anyways, I see some familiar names on the list, and it's nice to see familiar names. And so I'm a former UMGC student, but my master's in a database, but there are a lot of courses that are in common, so to speak. Throughout the semester, you're gonna hear from me a list of things of what not to do. Well, the reason is I've been a TA for a long time, and I've been doing this course since it was offered for the first time. And over these years, I've been sort of like taking notes on things that people done that make them not do as well as they wanted to. So you will hear from me sometimes what not to do, including today. Okay? Linesh?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Yeah, this is Lanesh Dave. I'm going to be with Yelena, helping you as the TA for the class. Been in IT and in software development for almost 30 years now, and last seven and a half years actually been associated with UMUC. It's funny, but UMGC was actually formerly called as UMUC. That's when I started my journey in data analytics, and that's how I've been associated with data analytics, being a lead for my organization for data analytics since then. But most of my learning has come from UMUC, both as a student, as a TA for the last 5 years or so. Wonderful experience. One thing I would say, as a student of this class in the past, I would tell you guys that the biggest success or the biggest reason for my success in this course, in this particular class, was listening to my professors and TA. I'm not making this up, guys. Trust me. That was the biggest success. I mean, it's they have come here, but they have lots and lots of experience seeing students like you and me and many others in the past, and helping them, through this course or similar courses. They tell with lots of experience. So, for example, if they say, "Hey, this is how this needs to be done, or this needs to be started earlier," it may look easy, but it's challenging. Listen to them. It is going to be challenging. If they tell you not to do something, please do not attempt it. And I can tell you how many times people have not listened to them and have gone ahead and do things that they have landed up into some very challenging situations. So that would be the biggest success mantra, guys, and that would be my biggest advice to you, as being your TA. But here, by all means, Yelena and I are going to be always around supporting you. And so, good luck to you all. And I look forward to working with you. And just before I leave, I just realized and I remember something. One of the other ways that I would be connected with you is, within a couple of weeks or so, you will see a Kaggle competition being opened up for this class and this course. And people who know Kaggle know that it's a world-class platform, and we can have our own competition. How cool is that, right? Just for this class. And so you'll get all the details, you'll get all the information. So look forward to that, but we'll let you kind of get settled down first. And so just hold on for another couple of weeks until you hear all about it. Okay, with that, over to you, Professor Elena and Ozam. Thank you.
Thank you all. So we are moving on. Just the arrow disappear. I don't know which one. Okay. So the agenda today, we will talk about the course in general. We will talk about how the support works now because it has some issue which we have to keep in mind. We will talk about grading, miscellaneous issue, and week one activity. And of course, we will have at the end, you will be able to ask questions. In order not to forget your question, you can start putting them in the chat and we will go answering them in the order they are coming. So the first thing, the course is named Big Data in Analytics. Is analytics for big data? I want that we interpret correctly the sentence of the title of the course. For that reason, the very important thing, everyone at this level in the program already know what big data is, but it's very important we wrap this and we are synchronized all in the same page. That this is not just the volume of data which has grown enormously over the last 15 years, is regarding the way we have to work with this data, which are only also variety of data, how we have to store, access them, share, visualize, analyze, get insight. So this is all about, we are talking about big data. Is the technology to deal with all these issues we change with when we talk about data of the size and variety of big data. So that of course also incur to new tools, new methods. So everything you studied about machine learning and predictive analytics, we will use in this class, but we will apply this method in the way it works for big data. So you will learn newest approaches, how to do the same thing you studied in data 630 and 640 when we talk about to deal with big data. And of course, this, at the end of the day, is integrating more skill under your belt, which are part of the skills of data scientists. So I'm not going to spend time. I have several slides which are just reminding. The slide will be posted together with the recording of this session. You can go over them, and the purpose of this slide is to summarize what you already know from all other classes about the volume of data, about the processing complexity which change, and about the structure of the data related with this. What I want to point here, this is a very representative, let's say, graphical slide. It's like everything the way it goes. So the amount of information grow, the size of email, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook started producing enormous amount of information, moreover, different type of information related with video, images. Uh, so the technology advanced in such a way in order to be able to access this data, process this data, and get insight of this data. So we need to get insight of this data in order to be valuable to us. And the technology evolved simultaneously with this. The relational database were not accommodating this need, evolving in the previous 2010 to NoSQL databases, and so on and on and on in order to accommodate the different type of structure. This parameter is very important to understand big data, because big data is mostly about the variety of data. The volume of data we have learned in the past 10 years to work with it and to deal. We have the technology of Hadoop to be able to store and access this amount of information. So the issue in which we live today with big data is how to deal with unstructured data, which are the big chunk of the data which are in the bottom of this pyramid. So think about that in between, like in real life, there is not only black and white, we have the gray color, is the same thing. We have the structured data, the totally unstructured, which is the free text, which everyone today in any corner of our society, life, business, personal, professional life wants to work with this textual data and get something from there. But in between, we have the semi-structured data, which are like HTML, which have some kind of structure, or the quasi-structured, which are, for example, the clickstream. And for each type of data, you have to approach them as a data scientist, data analyst in different way. You don't have to go to use the method to deal with free text, totally unstructured, the same way you deal with relational database where you have the data totally structured in a table. So my advice is that why I have this and this next slide, which gives some example on the, in general, 4 different type of data. In between, of course, you can find some of them which are not totally semi-structured or quasi-structured in between. So every time you have a problem as a data scientist analyst to solve, you have to look what type of data you have and which approaches you have to use in order to more successfully get inside of this data. So I want to point out that mostly, since today the most challenge are the totally unstructured data, we are going, of course, to focus mostly on them. And why is this? The complexity of the natural language processing comes from the complexity of our language. Just a simple example. The complexity of our language, if you look to the 6 bullet point, which are example, how difficult is to understand what we want to express in our languages, in our language. For instance, why we fill in a form by filling it out. That is the way we spell in English, right? So this complexity is not easy to transfer this totally free text with the meaning to structured format, which will be in the bottom. We have 2 columns for a single sentence, and present this unstructured uh, sentence, which is, if leader is an art, if leadership is an art, then surely Jack Welch has proven himself a master painter during his tenure at General Electric. So you understand this is a very well rich sentence in English, and in order to present this in a structured format in the table, you will lose the meaning of everything. So this is just this structure and unstructured data. You understand that in order to work with totally unstructured data, the issue is not to convert them to a table of structured data. It's not the way we get inside, because the we need the meaning, what this text mean in the context we are using, because the same sentence in different contexts can mean totally different thing. So the purpose of this slide, and I want that you return to it every time you will have to deal with totally unstructured data, is the complexity. And we have to, and there are many approaches today to deal with this, but this is still open field, and many new stuff are coming up every day. We enrich our experience how to more successfully and efficiently deal with unstructured data. They are solutions for anything we want to take from unstructured data, but not all are efficient. And you know, as a data analyst and data scientist, it's not that the solution exists. You will look not only for solution, you will look for viable solution, which has acceptable cost. Okay, so that is very important. You keep in mind all this complexity. So here I want to point out that our course evolved to what today we are talking about, AI. Why? Because the contemporary AI, what today we understand as AI, not the classical one defined in the 50s, is artificial intelligence is what a computer can do similar to the human, but not to substitute the human. The intent is not to substitute, is to enhance human capability, to enhance productivity, to enhance quality, to enhance human satisfaction. So this is like augmented intelligence. You can read artificial intelligence today. AI can perfectly, the meaning stand for augmented intelligence. And why I'm spending the time to talk about this? Because we will be talking in the course a lot about this. Because the heart of this is machine learning. How contemporary artificial intelligence has evolved from big data and machine learning. Why? Because big data gave enormous power to the machine learning performance, and then it is viable today to talk about different artificial intelligence applications which are capable to enhance human capabilities, starting with detecting cancer or developing prescription in the development just in the last year in what we have lived with the COVID-19. All this technology related with big data, machine learning were helping us all the way along to understand what is happening, and we still getting experience on this. So to wrap up this, why we are talking about this, because actually big data has evolved to what is the contemporary, is, let's say, is the key to open the door to the contemporary AI. You cannot have AI without big data. You need a lot of data in order to train model, which will be trained so well that they can work autonomously and help human in many, many activity. And this is expanding everywhere in every corner. So that's why we are talking about artificial intelligence, contemporary AI in our class. So just to shed some clarification of this, if we want to present this, how it's organized, we can see the machine learning and deep learning as subtopic of the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is broader than this because in addition to this part of artificial intelligence, which is the machine learning work in big data, there are some other area which is named robotic automation, which is to to do automatically repetitive tasks. So mainly there is not much machine learning there. Our focus is in this part of artificial intelligence, and which is actually mostly everything in the contemporary AI, which is based on machine learning. And of course, deep learning is part of it. So data science, on the other hand, stands outside because it's not just machine learning. Data science has many other sides which you have progressed since the beginning of the program, starting with converting business problem to analytical problem with data exploration, data visualization, data storage and management, and then evolving to what is machine learning. So data science is bigger area in which part of it is machine learning, deep learning. So in this class, what we mainly are going to focus is to the machine learning and deep learning related, how to apply them to actually what is big data. And we are going to do several projects, several applications to apply what you have learned here. And of course, like in any other class in the program, we will use a lot of different software tool technology. They have evolved. The technology to deal has evolved from data, from spreadsheet to, let's say, sandboxes, data warehouses, to what is the today approach. What is the today approach? The traditional approach we know very well from business analytic user, how they request, I have presented it to the left part of the screen. They have to request from the IT department to build IT infrastructure to support the problem they want to solve, right? And in general, this is to run a report, to build some kind of data warehouse. And then the IT department has to take around 6 months to build this, and then the business analysts start running this business report. And that is the cycle. You, as a business analyst, you define the problem, then you request the infrastructure which you need, you wait 6 months, you have it, and you start implementing and running this report. The approach to big data today is different, and it has evolved not only because big data needs, is everything goes together with the ample existence of the cloud, that everything is moving to the cloud. The approach for big data is to have a platform, usually in the cloud, where all the tools data scientists, analysts may need are there. So he has access to all of them and is using the one or the combination of several of them, integrating them to solve a problem. So there is no need to request anything for the IT department. IT department first deploy this, let's say, platform with all analytical tools. Even maybe the IT department in many companies doesn't exist already to deploy this. They just are contracting any of the biggest provider of cloud services, starting AWS, Microsoft, um, Google, IBM, whoever. All they have platform, so there is no need to deploy something for your company, saving time, resources, and money. And that is part of the direction and effective and efficiency. So data scientist analyst has access to all of this and can provide solution to the problem which are coming from the business unit. So that doesn't mean that still these traditional reported data warehouse are not run. They still are run in most of the company. We have still them, but most of the things related with data analytic data science are the approach to use is going to the cloud and use the different services there to solve the problem which your business department needs. So this is in general about the technology, about what we are talking about today. Let's go directly to what is the course. The course is just a progression, the same way the whole program uh, has been going on. The previous classes is this competence-based approach in which you have several big assignments, named kind of project in which you apply what you have learning during a couple of or 2 or 3 weeks. That is the same approach, but in addition, you will have some ungraded exercises in order to test yourself that you have learned it. And let me tell you, why is this so important? Why we have these ungraded exercises? They are for you. We put them for you. Don't skip them. Just because they don't give you point, they give you more point that you can imagine. How? Very indirectly. If you progress to the graded assignment without doing them, is that you skip the reading, you actually are going to struggle with the application you have to develop because you don't understand what you are doing. And then you are like blind person clicking the keyboard and you don't see even what is in the screen. So these ungraded exercises are for you, so you can assess what you have learned, and it's telling you, you at least earned 70%, you can proceed to the application part, which is graded. So we have also some small graded assignments, which are mandatory. And let me tell you that maybe you won't see the big assignment until you don't do this small assignment. This will happen with Spark. You will see, we have assignment 2, but we see Spark tutorial and there is no other assignment. You won't see the assignment is not going to open for you until you complete and submit the small assignment, because this is the one which will assure that actually you can progress to the next one. So the course is designed this way. You have several big assignments which are conditional on the small, and you don't see them until you complete the small assignment. And if you don't understand something, you doubt something, there is space in the classroom where you can ask where is the assignment and when will it appear. But I can assure you, what you see in the syllabus and the weight of the assignment, that is what it is. You have four big assignments, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Assignment 2 in addition has a small one, which is named Spark tutorial. And assignment 3 also have precondition. You have to do the tutorial, sentimental analysis tutorial, in order to proceed to the big assignment. So the auto-graded quizzes, which has unlimited attempt, don't skip them. You will understand, you learn or not, and you on time return to the reading to get ready uh, for the big assignment. And of course, use this class as opportunity to learn software as much as you can. Of course, after the class is over, everything remain there and is accessible for you for 4 months. So you can go, because we have a lot of recommended reading, which maybe you won't have time during the class. You can go back and read everything you see there. 4 months. And of course, other very important opportunity in these online classes is the interaction between you and your classmate and the professor. Don't miss this. This is not just for grading to post a sentence and grade point. Don't that that is not the purpose of the discussion. Of course, we have to give point because that is part of the way we teach. But use this as an opportunity to exchange the idea, to learn more, and to grow. Is very important. Many of you classmates are already working professional and they have some work experience they can share in the class, and it's related to what we are studying, how they are dealing with this in their, let's say, they work in healthcare or they work in finance or they work in any area. Is very important. They don't please take the discussion just like to get the point as a formal thing. Uh, I'm very proud the way the program is going. And when you are already in this level in the program, I very would like that you understand that we already are, well, new program, but we already are finishing eighth year, and fall we start ninth year in the program. And we have several recognition, which I summarize them from professional organization for the program itself, and for innovation, and for the student participating in this program, winning very important competition, international competition. We are talking about among 200 university, which is very good stuff. I think we will have some competition starting at the end of this semester. So stay tuned. Here in this slide, I have summarized uh, the schedule of the course in different way. Is there in the syllabus? You can go down all the course content, you can go to the calendar and you can see. Here is summarized in different way to show you the topic, what we do, that there is assignment due, and there is, we are going to do in between some synchronous session like this one, when we are going to get started you with new technology like Spark walkthrough, you see, live session. Why? Because we understand it's too much to learn, but there is no way, if you don't learn this, at least at some very introductory level, you are not going to get a job. That is what is required today. So we are here, that's why we have the TA sitting right to us, and they will be holding this walkthrough session to get you started to overcome this learning curve, to make it steeper, so you faster get to some level. And you see, sometime is named walkthrough, some is Q&A session, and you see the schedule related with the schedule of the course. 2 week on Hadoop ecosystem, then 4 weeks Spark, which is the big stuff in big data, the machine learning part and the SQL part. Then we are going to other technology, doing sentiment analysis with a lot of text analytic and sentiment analysis using different technology, which is in memory analytic technology. And the last 3 weeks of the semester is what is the applied contemporary AI. We are going to go to cognitive analytics, which will culminate with what is we are going to try to develop a intelligent chatbot using the resources in the cloud for this class. So I don't see question right now, and so I'm running through all this. Here, repeating again that assignment 2 has a small portion, which is just 5%, and the big one is not opening until you don't finish the Spark the Spark tutorial. The same for assignment 3. You have, and this is very important, assignment 3. It's not just the application sentiment analysis you will be doing, working with textual data, that you are going to work for this specific assignment, the 3, which is also 2 parts. Small part, you have to overcome the small part to get ready to open the real assignment. You will work with everything in the cloud. You will have the RStudio. You will have to work within memory analytic tool, RStudio in the cloud, and you will have to work embedded all this in the cloud. The way actually today data scientists work is requiring. And the 4th assignment requires also a lot of work, but it's not difficult if you approach it on time. You learn the new stuff. There are many new stuff, new vocabulary. You have to learn all this stuff and have fun developing something which is the cognitive part, the AI part related with textual information and data analytics. So the grading is like in all the classes, you understand that the B grade is you do what is there, you get you B grade. In order to get an A, you have to go above and beyond the minimum requirement. And of course, each assignment has grading rubric. So when you open the assignment, scroll up to down and see what is the grading rubric and make sure you submit everything which is required there. So you will get the grade you deserve. So for the help with the technology, I will leave the before proceeding to this. Professor Ruzan, do you want to say something about grading, about everything before proceeding to the technology? Ozan, not there.
Sure, Professor. I just want to remind all the folk. Do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Excuse me, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I was just going to say that, you know, I'm recommending every student to read the announcements very carefully, because we are making a lot of good announcements there and very important announcements there, especially myself and Yelena, our TAs. We are putting a lot of good announcements. So I'm definitely recommending every student to read the announcements very carefully. To also to increase their grades, read the rubrics very well and make sure that they cover every single point in the rubric. Additionally, we have too many additional points that they can get, including our discussions and also some ungraded ungraded quizzes, also with our Kaggle competition. So I recommend everyone to utilize all those other assignments as well.
Thank you. Ozan, okay, I would like to give the word to Elena to explain the help with the technology. So I save my voice a little, and she's better to explain what to do, what to not to do. I don't like to do that part.
Well, I like to do that. Sometimes it sounds funny, but I mean, that's how I am. All right, so of course you're not gonna have do not ask the TA. We're not gonna have ask the TA discussion, right? So what you will do in the classroom, you'll see this area help with technology and software, and most of you already know where to click. And the sales form is going to open. Salesforce form will open, and you fill it out. That's it, easy, piece of cake, right? And then you're gonna get your assistance. But here's what to make sure. Make sure that the an email address that you specify is the one that you're using, and it's the one that is set in a Salesforce as your primary email, or in the university system, if you will, because you want to make sure that you're getting the responses. The response is not going to be from my email. It should be from the help desk, right? So make sure that you kind of like put this email address to the safe list. So, because, well, maybe our initial response end up in your junk mail, so you want to check. Another thing that's helpful is that after you submit the case, you should be getting the email with the case number. Write that down, because in case, if your case goes to the wrong queue, we can still use that number to track it down, okay? Once in a while, if you miss the instructions when you submitted the case, it will go to the wrong queue, and you know that there are thousands of cases per day, because that whole system, it tracks everything from financial aid to advising, etc. So you want to keep that case number, and just in case, right? Save it for your reference. And if you don't hear anything, then just contact us and give us the case number, and we'll find it. Trust me. Case number is a good thing to use to find stuff. Now, remember this picture, right? So if you select the wrong option, this is where it's gonna go. It's gonna go to the wrong place, right? So then you add in the time to response time. Usually we'll be answering the cases, they will be handled within 24 hours. Well, but I try to do it faster than that, but also they'll be handled in the order received, right? So for example, suppose that right now is 11 p.m. on Tuesday night, right? And your assignment is due on midnight. If people wait until the last minute, right? You see what's gonna happen. Everybody is submitting the case 1 hour before the assignment is due. Then imagine that you'll need to wait in line to get his answer. So we want to avoid this. We want to be submitting the cases throughout, right? You want to start the work early. Okay. Now, next slide, I guess, right? Well, this is just the summary of tools that you're going to be using, right? The DB2, Spark, Watson Cognitive, etc. And Watson Cloud Pack, that's formal Watson Studio. And long time ago, they called it Data Science Experience. So they keep on renaming, okay? And then the languages is Python, R, and SQL. And also, if you notice in the classroom, you have some additional resources on each. If you feel like, oh, for example, I could benefit from some, like Python, more resources on reviewing Python. So it's there for you in the classroom. This is just if you need, in case you need additional help, if you will. Okay, next one. Well, this
Very
is just
important. I want here to point that there are two things you have to understand, so don't get confused.
yes.
The big thing is the IBM Cloud, where you will be signing, getting account, and all this time. And then the other thing will be the data science platform where you are going to develop your project. So Elena, continue, please.
Okay, let me see. No, no, no. All questions are appropriate. Yes, I was going to address this. I was going to address this question here. Okay. Now, depending on when do you get your feature code, right? Some of you got your code before today, and yes, looks like it gave you access for 40 something days. Well, no problem. Usually what happens is that if you get this code this time of year, it expires now at the end of June. So sometime in the middle of June, get another code and apply another code. That's it. Easy, right? But I think somebody who got the code today said that it was good for 200 plus days. So, I mean, do me a favor, please go ahead and check. If you go back and see, well, if you try to get the code, right? If it's the same code that you already got, right? That's it. I mean, as soon as the new code will become available, it's gonna be different code from what you have now, right? The numbers are not gonna match, and it should be good through the end of the calendar year. So at some point between now and end of June, there will be a new code which is good through the end of this calendar year. So if your code expires at the end of June, not a big deal, but you have to get the new code before this code expires, okay? Now, some of you may have created IBM Cloud account in the past, or well, things happen, it's life. Sometimes you register for the class, you create an account, and then you end up dropping. If your account has expired, right, number of days is going to be negative. So please, please, please do not attempt to enter the feature code into the expired IBM Cloud account. Moreover, if the expiration happened more than 30 days, you're gonna get an error. It's gonna say server error, something like that, okay? So no, if your account is expired, just submit the case and we will look at the options. We look into options, what we can do, right? Well, the good news are that in the past, right, if you depending on when you when you created the account for the first time, you used your account was ending with a umuc.edu, right? So if your account is way expired, like maybe more than a year, you just create the one with umgc.edu, right? So it's a different account, and that's it, right? But I mean, please don't attempt to put the code into a expired account. You're gonna get an error. But the good news are that the code does not get ruined, if you will, because if you use the code, it can be applied only once. You cannot apply the same code to two accounts, right? But thanks goodness, if you attempt to apply the code to expired account, it does not void the code. So this is something that I learned today. Oh, right. And this is just the cloud pack, right? So it's basically a sub platform, if you will, and you'll be using that for your Spark assignment. Oh yeah, and just to clarify, for the first assignment, we are not using the IBM Cloud. So we are not using the IBM Cloud to do the first assignment. So this gives you a little bit of the grace period to resolve any issues with IBM Cloud account creation that may come up, right? It gives us a little bit of time because by week 3, you will have to start using the Cloud Pack. We want to make sure that you are ready to go, right? You want to be all set. Okay, next one, I guess, right? Next slide. Well, this is just
This is just to tell you another technology which you have heard a lot, which is already embedded in what is here, what was, let's say, the Watson uh, from 10 years ago. is embedded as services here in the Watson Studio. So we will use the services of this, let's say, very powerful
Mhm.
computer, which IBM built years ago, which were able to, that was the proof of concept. And then they went to the next step to provide this as a services in the cloud, very accessible and very reasonable price. And of course, we even don't pay.
And here it comes. Here it comes. Okay, what not to do? Well, you just don't wait until it's too late. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Because time goes quick, and if you start on the last day, no, I mean, if I say that something takes 10 hours, perhaps, it does not mean that you can sit down at noon and be done by midnight. No, that's not how that works. You have to give yourself enough time, right? And you start working on it as soon as you can. And please don't wait until the last day. Trust me, okay? Now, IBM, they don't, IBM representatives have no idea on what we're doing in this course. So please, unless we instruct you, do not submit any IBM tickets. Oh, what
Oh,
happened?
sorry.
No, 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 no problem, no problem.
Okay.
I think I have this
Let
memorized.
me go back. Let me
Yeah,
go
but
back.
yeah, but I have that slide memorized by now because I
Okay.
sound like a broken record sometimes. I have to repeat this. Uh, Now, please do not put the credit card information, especially, well, if your account is expired, you'll be asked to put the credit card. Please don't do it because if you do that, you will incur the cost, and there is no way to change your change your account back to the academic. So, in the past, we had some students who did it and they didn't do well in the rest of the assignments because first of all they're going to lose our support, right? Because we don't want to incur any additional cost for them, right? So no, please don't do this. Not sure what a better way to emphasize. So one way was to put a little picture with no credit card on it. Okay, now uh, please do not deactivate your IBM Cloud account. This is a danger zone. Okay. So,
Sometime I want to stress on this. You will say why I'm going to deactivate. The thing is, there is a button which is close to what you do, and try to read in the screen what is when you are clicking what you are doing. I mean, don't go fast clicking in the screen because
mhm,
even I think one of the students deactivated the account accidentally.
yes, we can.
This shouldn't. This happen only if you don't read when you're clicking.
Yes,
If it, right?
and yeah, and people, if you receive the code that expires at the end of June, just go to a calendars where you looked at, like all of you have a calendar where you write down most of your appointments and put yourself a reminder to make sure that you get another code before this code expires. So at some point in June there will be new code available, and I'm going to keep an eye on that, and I will ask both instructors to post an announcement when the new code becomes available, right? So if your code expires in June, well, it's a case if you obtain the code now, or also if you were registered for this class in spring and for multiple reasons ended up withdrawing, right? Something like that. So anyhow, if you obtain your code earlier this year, then your code is going to expire in the end of June. And we don't want any interruption of the service, right? So please don't let it expire and obtain the new code. Okay, just obtain the new code and apply. So how long does it take to do it? 5 minutes, right? Now, and you might be asking yourself what you need to do, right? I told you what not to do, but I did not tell you what to do. You want to spend the time effectively. You want to look at the lesson guidelines, right? And another thing is you want to set aside necessary time to study. And also, please do ungraded exercises. I mean, there's a little, I'm going to give you a little hint, but I never, but okay, look at this. A question that appears today in ungraded exercises, it's a fair game if you see this again in the graded exercises. But please don't share it with anybody who did not attend this session and with anybody who did not watch the recording. Please don't share it with anyone. Everybody has to watch the recording or attend this session to learn this little tip. The questions that appears in ungraded exercises today, tomorrow or in the next assignment, it could be one of the graded questions. But I did not tell you that, okay? Now, you want to read the announcements. Speaking of that, there is a setting where you can choose to receive notification when announcement is posted. All right. There is a setting in the notifications where you can check to receive an email or something. If checking emails is more convenient than logging into the classroom every few hours, so to speak. Right? Now, and you want to start working on things early and do all ungraded exercises. Trust me, they will help you a lot with graded assignments. Okay? Now, what else is on the next slide, please? Yolanda, next slide.
No, we don't have more slide.
Oh,
Question.
yay. There's no next slide.
Question.
So
Question.
questions?
Yes. I don't see, well, whatever question I see is in the chat and I'm answering what is for me. Oh, okay. Even that is writing privately to me, but I can answer we talk about this already. So what happened if you made a mistake while setting up the IBM Cloud account, such as instead of checking no, then checking yes for enrolling in the IBM budget program, nothing happened. Don't worry about the budget problem. Nothing happened. Not a problem.
Oh,
No,
that one. I think the instructions say no.
the badges program.
Yeah, the budget.
That's not a problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Don't worry about this.
Oh, that's a thing. That's one reason. Somebody deactivated their account because they selected the wrong option here. And they thought that they could deactivate and start all over. No. Before you do something like that, yeah, check with TAs. Please don't make this mistake. They cannot be fixed. Okay.
And one thing I want to point out, since the help with the TA is outside in the classroom, whoever learns something important, you can share with your colleague in the classroom after you get resolution for something, because maybe some of your colleagues are struggling and they don't know even what to ask, let's put it this way. So it's good idea when you get resolution to some problem to share with your colleague in the classroom. There is a place where you can Q&A. In the Q&A part of the discussion, you can share whatever you learned there.
Yes. But I mean, the technical questions, especially the ones that require troubleshooting, they're not going to be resolved in the discussion. You need to submit the case. And sometimes in order to solve your problem, we will be scheduling an individual one-on-one Zoom session with you. Or sometimes, if I have to really see your screen to help you, it might happen. Me or Lanesh, sometimes it's both of us attending. Yes, the presentation, the slides will be shared. That's right. Oscar, the slides will be shared with everybody.
And book, we have for each session readings. There are several places in the classroom where our book. Let me put it this way. Each week you have reading, which some of them are articles, some of them chapter of book. And if you go to the classroom, in addition, which is after, let me go to the classroom to tell you where exactly it is. In the meantime, if other question, Elena, please answer.
Yeah, I'm paying close attention to the chat. And if there are no questions, sometimes I start asking questions. Oh,
I'm
so,
just,
are you trying to log into the classroom?
yes. But the thing is, I have to go.
Oh, excellent. Yes, there is a book session. Yes. The
Yeah, but I
ebooks.
don't know where exactly is, and I have to escape the full screen.
Oh, so
Okay.
what are you trying to do, and I'm trying to follow because how did you do the sharing? Did you share the whole screen or you just shared the presentation?
Okay, I stop sharing because I have no way to go to my classroom. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
there is nothing. We can return to the classroom. I can share shortly the classroom where the books are
Okay.
when I can.
Oh,
Okay, we have 32. Let me share the screen first, and then I'm going to.
yeah. And actually, there is more. And do you remember that one day I sent you that site, which has link to bunch of machine learning books?
So everyone see the classroom now? Do you see the classroom? This is content,
Oh,
yes or no?
oh, you consider previewing as a learner because we don't want to see the hidden stuff.
Okay. Okay, here is our classroom. I'm going to content, okay?
Hmm.
And then I scroll down. You have the course content, which are all the weeks, which you have lecture, you have reading here, which, for instance, this is chapter of book here. Each week you have chapters of book. Because it's too much to give you. I mean, we have selected each week reading, so it's something reasonable. You can deal with the time we expect you to learn. So in addition to this chapter, in addition, what is in each week is what is required. This is the minimum you should read in order to get, let's say, to get the minimum knowledge to proceed to the assignment. What is in the week is the minimum. Then extra, you go to content resources and you have ebooks here. There are a lot of resources here, you see. You have ebooks, you have 32 ebooks here. So I don't think you will have time for many for all of them, but you can skim in all of them. Okay. Some of them are to remind staff, and also everything which you studied before in other classes. When you go here, hands-on resources, I want to point out that here is a summary of everything you may need and don't remember about SQL, about Python, plenty of resources. You don't have to go anywhere. And about R, this is all you may need because these are the stuff you studied partially in previous classes and you can use all of them. So remember, hunt all resources. Every week, the minimum is here, but that is the minimum. You forget something about SQL, you go hunt on resources, you go to SQL resources and you skim here what you have time to read more of what is in the classroom for the specific week. Then you go to the extra resources, which are here, content resources, and you can have additional reading. Hope I answer. I don't see more question in the chat. No, I don't see no.
Oh, yeah, it's a, well, no, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, do you see
Another thing,
more?
what? No, I was gonna say, Elena, another thing that to point out that Please, guys, you don't need to install the Hadoop, so please don't do that. You don't need to install HBase. You don't need to install anything. All the work done in the cloud. Yeah, but first assignment you're not doing in the cloud. It's a theoretical assignment. So if it says, imagine that you're setting up the database, you don't actually need to do it programmatically, but it's asking you to write the pseudocode, right? So you not actually have to go and implement it. It's conceptual. First assignment is conceptual. You're not writing any code. You're writing a pseudocode, right? Which is not Java code, which it's not Python, it's not R, but it's basically the steps of the code. If you watch the video, which is in assignment 1, you will understand more what's required. But please do not install anything like Hadoop,
You don't have to install anything.
Yeah.
So when you go to your assignment,
Yeah, you'll see this one.
and here are the instructions, you have an example with pseudocode, and you have even a YouTube video which is explaining you what is the pseudocode. So that is all you need to do for the assignment 1. You don't need to install any Hadoop. You don't have to set up anything. This is just warming up. Pseudocode. Video, an example, in addition to the instructions. Please remember that.
Yeah. And then there is one of the questions in the part 1 of the assignment is on this video. So you need to understand this video to answer the last question in part 1. And this video will also help you with part 2. But again, this shows you the solution, right? Solution to a problem. But you need to apply the solution to solve another problem. And yet there is part of the problem where it's a new problem. You'll see it as you start working on assignment. Part of the problem is similar to what's in the example, right? You apply. And then there is a piece in a problem where it's like a new problem. So we would like to see your solution, your approach. So some of you, well, some last semester, some people said, oh, the actual problem in assignment is harder than what's on the video. Of course, because you are asked to solve the new problem. Every time in life, you'll be asked to apply what you learn from simpler problem to solve new problem. So that's the thing. I mean, am I right, Elena?
Yes, I don't see more question. I think we clarify as much as possible because we already are past over the hour.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And if there are not more questions, Awesome, do you want to say something else, or Linesh?
I want to say thank you to you, Professor, and Yelena for this great session. There are tons of useful information in this session. Hopefully, students will watch the recording, and they're going to learn a lot. Thank you so much again.
Yep,
Okay.
great session. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. And I look forward for an exciting semester. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Bye.